A hero is also fearful of a situation, but they take action. That's the only difference, man. It's not like superpowers or like huge. Like, it's just, if you're put in a situation where it's your responsibility to do something, or you feel like you can do something, you can either choose to act or not act.
Right.
And like,
you choose to act.
You don't know until you're put in those positions. Like,
right. You don't know what's gonna happen. You know.
Yeah. Because I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I said, like, you'll be able to live with trying and failing, but I don't know. I just know I'd have a lot of sleepless nights if I just never tried.
Right.
You know, anything in life.
I feel like that's a lot of people lack in that arena as far as not putting their maximum effort into something.
They protect their egos. Like,
right.
I've like when I initially took my RPSGT exam, I was like very public about like, I'm taking my national exam, blah blah blah. I'm gonna pass this. I'm excited. No. And when I failed it, I could have easily said nothing online, but that would not have sit well with me. So I made sure to get online and be very public that I failed it. It was some of the most mortifying and embarrassing feelings I've had in my entire life.
Right.
But that gave me the
motivation to
when
get
I
back
came
on there.
back and I took it again a few months later. I ended up passing it by like 30 questions more than I needed. So
right.
I found.
But you put yourself in a position like you were vulnerable.
Yeah.
You made it to like.
Yeah. It was
accountable.
And everything. Yeah.
Made yourself accountable. Yep.
Well, that's what, like, a lot of things, I don't see the point of not doing that, because you're just like, I don't know, people are going to find out. Like, I really respect people that don't hide from failure. Like, I don't see the point of, I think those are the people that get ragged on the most. Like, what's worse? Like, if you and I were to box and you beat me up, and instead of saying, Joey's better that day, I genuinely feel like 9 out of 10 times I can beat him, but this happened to be the 10th time. And if then I come out and start making excuses of like, well, I feel like he had weights in his gloves, or I ate a bad breakfast that day. Like, no, man, sometimes things don't go your way.
Right.
And make as few excuses as possible, because once something's done, it's done. It's done.
There's no changing back. Excuses are just gonna make you look bad. Really.
Yeah, like telling you I ate like a bad quail egg for breakfast isn't gonna change the fact that I lost. It's just gonna be a detriment to my own character. Right.
Now you know not to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a really interesting dynamic. I just try. It's tough though, because there were so many like excuses I wanted to make.
Right.
Because there are 8 different versions of the exam.
Yep.
And in my opinion, the version I got wasn't particularly covered in the study materials that I used. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I'm still going to have to take it again.
Right.
Actually, I think it was better for me.
Yeah.
I think, there's a YouTuber named Ramsey Dewey, and he's one of my favorite MMA combat sports YouTubers, and he had something really interesting to say, but he said the worst thing for a fighter is to win your first fight, because then you start to think things that aren't true and possibly not take advice as well and coaching as well as you did if things went wrong.
Right.
And I think there's some truth in it all depends on the perspective you're coming in there with. Like, I always operate on a glass, an empty glass. Like, there's always more information and different things I can take into account.
There's room for improvement.
Yep. And you can learn something from everyone. I think maybe a lot of people get things mixed up is the important thing isn't knowing, like, getting all this coaching and information and stuff. It's kind of getting yourself to a situation of knowing what's useful and what's not useful. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to attempt real world application.
Yep.
And have things blow up in your face,
Sometimes that's the only way, to be honest.
It's the only way. I've had, it's rough.
Like, you got to learn yourself,
and I could devise this intricate game plan of when I go into a boxing match or an MMA fight and just get starched in 3 seconds, and I can't have my world crumble around me.
No.
Because I had created this facade of the game plan that I've designed for myself as impenetrable.
Yep.
And that's what happens with a lot of guys. Like, you look at Ronda Rousey. After she lost her first fight in MMA, she was washed because her aura of invincibility went away, and she just couldn't deal with it. She just couldn't deal with the fact that she needed to make some improvements. And it was kind of rough. Like, I don't know. I'd like to see her have a get-back fight.
Yep.
But, yeah, everybody's a little different.
Doesn't that mean you just have a big ego?
Yeah.
When there's, like, you know...
Well, you kind of have to, though. I think there's a difference between having a big ego and a bad ego. Like, I have a huge ego.
Yeah.
Huge, but I don't have a bad ego.
Right.
Like, when I'm wrong, I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. When I'm right, I'm willing to admit when I'm right.
Right.
If presented with information that is factual and contrary to what I previously believed, I'm more than happy to change my views and opinions on things, perspectives on things.
Right.
Some people can't do that.
No.
Some people are like, nope, this is the way things are. I genuinely do not care if you show me something to the contrary that is just factual.
And that's the bad ego.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It's rough. There's been times, not to get political or anything, but on either side, people will post like these nudist articles about quotes or implying certain people said or did different things. And I'll see that, and I, maybe had watched the speech or known about the legislation and been like, oh, that's just not true. And I hold the truth very important to me. And I would like send them the information like, oh, that's just not true. And they're like, yeah, I really don't care if it's true or not. I just don't like them. That's terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
they're not in touch with reality. Like, they don't see what's really true.
Well, something I would hope, is there are people I don't like, but I'm just not going to manufacture negative things about them that are untrue and just choose to believe them because I don't like them. That's terrifying.
Yeah, it is.
That's terrifying.
Fortunately, a lot of people are like that too.
Yeah, that's reality. That's kind of part of the world right now.
Yeah.
But